So the social work function is a function named as a court officer. It's named specifically in the Children's Act. It's named in several specific pieces of legislation. And the social worker is always named because that's where intersectionality is embedded within our legal system. It's long been the case. And the social worker's role in whatever environment, whether it be children's law or vulnerable adults or whatever, their job is to understand not only the law that's going on in that courtroom, but how that law is interacting with all the other law that shapes that person's life, how that is interacting with the social context in which they exist and the power dynamics in which they exist. So, for example, we'll go back to mothers. You know, knowing that a mother who is having her children adopted out because her partner is trying to kill her, but the police won't lift her partner, you know, and welfare policy is trying to stop her leaving, you know, that's the social work function on the ground, to look at those tensions. To understand that sometimes the law has limitations, and understand that those limitations, people kind of walk into them and they create little blind spots where great harm is done. And this can't be reflected on at an elite level. This has to be an institutional function, a court officer. And you need all these tensions. But all these tensions, they can't actually be abdicated at all. Like, really. So, what we're in the process of at the moment is of finding out that that can't be abdicated, because we've just had a considerable period where we've tried. And what was believed... you know, this rule of law is not hidden, it's public, that's the nature of law. But in 2010, what became very, very clearly apparent is that actually this is not understood, and they had trained us as social workers to reflect on this so that nobody else had to. Which is not going to work from now, is it? No. So... one of the really important institutional functions for these institutions and for these service users, for, you know, local authorities, these institutions where the rule of law is evolving like our welfare system, is trade union representation. And the collective voice for those institutions should, rightly, have an understanding of that. But ours don't, because we have the left-wing culture attached to The Guardian, and so they've spent 8 years, like PCS and Unison have spent 8 years actively preventing anybody discussing a complete attempt to remove the rule of law. But what this rule of law actually is every single right and duty to vulnerable people in this country. Every single one that's been earned over 70 years. And they thought they could just take it in a one-up. And our union said, yeah, we'll help. And The Guardian said, yeah, we'll help. And the Labour Party said, yeah, we'll help, and we'll put all our energy into stopping people discussing this. Because we don't know about it anyway, so it can't be that important. And what's actually the case now is that we're in the middle of institutional failure. And Theresa May was saying austerity's over. It's not over because she doesn't know how to fix it. Nobody does. Because this consensus is maintained by left and right. And they have actively prevented. You know, Owen Jones, Laurie Penny, the norovirus brats, they were sent out on behalf of their class to actively prevent anybody discussing this, because everybody assumed that you could just roll back the welfare state and go back to a pre-1945 identity where we auditioned to them for pity. But that's not the case, and the crisis that we're in is that. Now, what I'm going to do, I have 2 more videos for this playlist. I know it's a fucking long playlist and it's not even very interesting, I'm really sorry. But I'm going to do one about children's law and one about law about vulnerable adults. And then the final video, I'm going to give you 2 case studies. Because I think it's only through those case studies that you can actually see how this whole mess is intersecting around people. And we'll see if they work. This is actually the second time I've done these videos. I did them about 2 hours ago and then I deleted them accidentally, and then when your upload has failed. So I'm going to upload these now, and then I'm going to probably finish the rest of this playlist tomorrow.